Ever wondered why you can't play soccer in the classroom? The answer is constraints. Constraints are little rules that regulate the future actions. These predefined words impact the execution of a query. So it helps you get one step closer to the desired results. Let us now discuss constraints that have made it to the Hall of Fame. Null not null unique primary key check. Let's introduce these celebs, one at a time. Let's understand null, not null. Let's assume that you got hired as a SQL developer. The shocking part is that you now work at a company, and are now engrossed in developing a HR database. Currently designing the data structure, but within a certain frameworks. You must collect emails, but physical address is not mandatory. That's because your company corresponds electronically, so here's what you must do. Type this in the query. Now that's the power of null, not null. Not null makes the required data to be filled, else an error is awaiting you. So this company you work with expects more from you. They now want you to help sort out the mess. Accidentally, the HR guys messed up the employee IDs. Now, the company wants to ensure that this doesn't happen ever again. So you are required to keep the employee ID unique. How would you do that? Well, you said it. Just use the constraint unique. Use. There's another flaw that the company wishes to prevent. They want to ensure that no one leaves the employee ID blank. So all you gotta do is turn the unique to primary key. Ta-da! Primary key is a combo of unique and not null. Let's imagine that your company wants one more thing. You are required to keep the country as US, unless specified. How would you do that? Easy, wasn't it? So your company resents child labor and hires only adults. Now, you are required to use the power of SQL to comply with that. So you can do that by entering the following code. So if a child genius tries to get a job, then he won't. The age attribute will restrict anyone who isn't 18 years old. Yippee, let's move further. Text, the deeper you go, the darker it gets. Time to shed some more light on the right stuff. SQL offers more than one way of doing the same stuff. So, depending on the field, you need to use your horse sense. This is clear from the default versus not null option. Both do not result in a blank field. However, since it is name, you can't use default. Ever read a book without an index? After all, it helps you browse through the book faster. Now that is exactly what an index in SQL does. It helps retrieve the index data, in a flash. Since creating these could be time-consuming, you gotta restrict it to the most sought-after columns only. Game 1. Let's head further. Also time to pull the strings. Time for the big game. Now that you know constraints, it's time to figure out where to put them. You can do that while creating a table with the create table statement. Another way of doing it is to use the alter table statement. You kicked it off. Let's move further.